This is going to be a video basically just me talking. So if you're into that, stick around. If not, I'll see you in another video where I do like recommended loadouts or something. But basically, I'm going to talk about TGD and sim.gg, which is a new website that is very similar to TGD, but they use datamined data instead of tested data. So we're going to talk about why I started TGD first. So originally, there was no tool like this out there. There was no, as far as I'm aware, there was no website or anything that had all the data. And I loved Warzone and I really wanted all the data myself. And I realized that I currently didn't have a job and I knew data stuff and I knew programming. And I was just like, well, why wouldn't I just do this myself? I knew I had the tools in my toolbox to build everything that I needed for this, as far as knowing how to test things, because I have an engineering background and everything else I just covered. So I had like JGOD videos and exclusive ACE videos and things like that to actually get some idea of what was going on, but like they didn't have anywhere near all the attachments tested. It was usually just a few different things like base damage profile and this is what the stats are with these attachments. But I wanted something where I could play with all the different attachments in the game and actually see what was happening and try to build better loadouts than what people knew about. And it just didn't exist. So I decided that, I know how to do this. I want to do this. I'm just gonna do it myself. I pretty much realized from day one that it could be absolutely huge. I knew a ton of people wanted this same thing. I knew it would be the opportunity to launch, a website slash business slash career in this field if it was big enough and done well enough. I also knew that it could get me into content creation. I had planned on becoming a partnered streamer and becoming a YouTuber by using the popularity of the website to drive people to those different things. And that's exactly what's happened. It's all pretty much gone according to plan. But now there's new competition. There's this new website called sim.gg, and I want to talk about them and explain my thoughts about this and feelings about, different people using it and things like that. So my number one rule through all of True Game Data was just I always wanted to do the right thing. I always wanted to be ethical, moral, and just it seems like nowadays a lot of the successful people end up just being bad people. I think it's like something that just kind of goes hand in hand with personality traits. And I'm trying to prove that that's not always how it has to be. I wanted to be successful through True Game Data, but always be ethical and do the right thing. So that's the reason I'm making this video. I don't want to try to hide that SIM exists. I don't want to make it so people can't talk about it. Right now, their data is better than mine because they use fully data mined data. I'm actively going through their site and comparing to mine and updating things and retesting things as I need to. The reasons I didn't use data mined data is because I didn't want to risk, this is my livelihood. This is how I make my income is through game data. So I didn't want to risk that being shut down by Activision. So that's the reason I never went this route. I knew it was possible. I've actually known these guys had the data mined data for a very, very long time, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that, but they've kind of taken that risk for me. So this is their site. It's pretty similar to TGD. It's a little bit faster to use, but we're going to make some UI UX adjustments in the next couple months. Hopefully that'll keep up with this and make it a little bit faster. They don't have a whole lot of features yet, but I'm sure they're working on a bunch more features. So all of their data on this site is virtually perfectly accurate. There's a few bugs here and there because I think some of the actual data mined data is weird and they do some stuff like there's different types of data in the game. There's like actually the data that's stored in the game files, and then there's like scripts that overwrite those and change those things. So I think that's part of the reason that some of the just most of it's perfectly correct, but there's a few things that are incorrect on the site. So you guys can check this out and see how good my data is. I just want to say that I did the best I could with the tools I had and the amount of time I had. I've literally spent more hours on this than most people could probably imagine over the last 2 years. So I've done my best. It's not perfect. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video, talk about it, explain to you guys why I'm okay with it. It's going to end up making TGD better if they don't get in trouble because I'll just use data mine data myself, and then I can actually focus on building amazing tools. I have so many great ideas in my head that I just haven't been able to have time to program because I've spent 75% of my hours just manual labor testing this stuff, which is just terrible. It's not fun. I'm sick of it. So in the end, I think this is going to be a win-win. It's obviously a win-win for you guys, the community. So you have a new tool. Competition's always good for the consumer. Unfortunately, I'm not the consumer, so it might not necessarily be good for me. I might lose a lot of customers to this website, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just the way the world works. If they build something better, people are going to use it, and that's fine. Like I don't have any issue with SIM existing at all. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit and explain how it's going to work. Right now, I'm going through and checking everything. I'm still not going to use data mined numbers. I'm going to basically use their information to spot check what I need to go retest, just because again, I'm not comfortable with using data mine stuff yet. But if in a couple months from now they are still up and Activision hasn't shut them down, then I'll probably move that route as well. And then TGD will be amazing after that, because I seriously have so many good ideas in my head to really, really help visualize and calculate and combine all these different stats to give you really interesting information about how to build the best loadouts. Seems like pretty much every time this gets brought up, other content creators are always like, oh, competition's good, competition's good. Yeah, it's good for other content creators, and it's good for you guys, the consumer, the people who use this stuff, but it's not good for me. We can't really pretend that it's good for me, and that's fine. But the reason it's not good for me is, one, I have competition. People go use this and not use my site anymore. Two, it's not really going to drive me to work harder because I'm already spending my entire life on TGD. Like, literally, I don't know how many of you understand that, but the amount of work that I have to do for this website is insane and has been insane since day one. I literally it's my life. TGD is my life. So it is what it is, but I'm not going to be able to work harder just because there's competition now. But it will make TGD better in the long run, like I said, if I find out that data mining is okay. But I just don't think there's any need to pretend that it's good for me as an individual. Like, I have friends who are like, I'll never use Sim because it's competition to you and I'm loyal to you. I'm like, I don't care. Use whatever's the best. Like, if we can't keep up with their site, that's on us. That's not on you, the consumer. You don't have to make decisions for us. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Like, I'm not ever going to be upset for anyone using this website that was, my friend that used TGD before. But that's pretty much why I'm making this video, is just because I wanted to explain how I feel about all this stuff. You guys don't have to use TGD. Like, you can use this if you want. And if we can't keep up, that's on us. I don't know what my future is going to be. But that was just the point of this video, is I just wanted to not pretend like this website doesn't exist and just move forward, because I just don't think that's the way to handle it. And like I said, the whole point of everything, Tony and TrueTechData, is like being an ethical and moral person. So if this helps you guys, I want to talk about it and I want to share it with you. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover. I wanted to show you guys this site. It's sim.gg if you want to use it. Again, their data is better than mine currently, but I'm working as hard as I can to find the things I've made mistakes on through their website and go recheck it, retest it, and then update TGD. So hopefully in the next week or so, the data will be pretty similar between the two websites. But it's a great thing for you guys. Again, it's not a good thing for me, but that's fine. That's just how the world works, how business works. If somebody else does what you're doing better, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. So we're going to do everything we can to keep up. I have no idea what the future of all this stuff is now, but we'll see. That's all I wanted to cover, though. I hope you guys have a really good day, and I'll see you in the next video.